Welcome, everyone. This week, welcome to Panacea Sundays. Today is the last week of the Sacral Chakra. If you guys made it this far, I'm so proud of you. I appreciate you watching. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Coco, spiritual coach, life coach, someone that's just here to help you in this thing called life. And so, just made a video of talking about emotional healing through the sacral chakra. It wasn't as deep and emotional and fulfilling as I wanted to be, but I thought it was a place where you guys can understand that when you deal with your emotions, it's not always going to be pretty. A lot of the times it's really messy and muddy and confusing and a little bit problematic. I'm not even going to lie to you. When you deal with your emotions, it's problematic because you don't want to realize that you could have been a victim of whatever, we're a victim of our trauma, of whatever happened. So welcome back. If you guys like these videos, be sure to like and subscribe. This week, we're going to be talking about nurturing the sacral chakra in daily life. And so we're going to talk about incorporating self-care practices to support the sacral chakra, dietary recommendations for healing, exploring the role of pleasure and sensuality and balance, and cultivating healthy boundaries and relationships for the sacral chakra, and creating and personalizing a healthy plan for continued growth and maintenance. This is a lot that we're talking about this week. I feel like all of the videos that I had talked a little bit about this, talked a little bit about how you can restructure yourself, what type of different healing techniques and meditations that you can use. But I think now we're getting into like the nitty gritty, now it's really about love thyself, love thy soul. And if you don't, it's a really crucial part in your healing. It's a really crucial part in your health. It's a really crucial part in adapting to life and just surviving. I don't think you guys know how crucial self-love and giving back to yourself and making sure your maintenance is done on your body, how crucial it is to your growth and like I said, your cultivation in life and how you're growing and how you're letting others grow. So let's get into it. If you guys don't know what the sacral chakra is, the chakra system is an ancient concept that describes the interconnected energy centers in our body. The sacral chakra is located in the lower abdomen. It is associated with emotions, creativity, sensuality, and pleasure, and plays a vital role in our overall well-being and balance. So we already talked about what we're gonna, talk about in this video for the last week. You guys were 8 weeks strong in this thing. I know I said I was gonna have co-host, but this turned out I'm gonna do other projects and I'm gonna keep this going. I just think that this was getting this to you guys, getting you the information, getting you familiar with me and how I teach, and kind of get these messages to you. They haven't been really on a spiritual tip. They just kind of been more factual and then experience based. So thank you for sticking in there with me again. Let's talk about incorporating self-care practices to support the sacral chakra. They play a vital role with nurturing yourself with this chakra. These practices may include setting healthy boundaries, engaging in activities that bring joy and pleasure, practicing self-compassion, and prioritizing self-care routine. Okay, let's talk about it. I'm ready this time. You guys don't know, but I drank a triple espresso from Starbucks. I don't know what's in their espresso, but obviously coffee beans. Duh. I know that there's coffee beans in the espresso. What I'm saying is it's like crack. It's so good. I'm not saying crack is good, but you get it. It's addicting like crack. So let's get into it. Okay. Setting healthy boundaries. One, how do you do that? A lot of you guys can't. Setting healthy boundary is my sister, a teacher, aspiring science teacher, but she is very philosophical. She is somebody that's very deep and understanding. She's a Scorpio. And she gave me the theory that I want you guys to use every single time if you're in a situation that you think that you need to value your self-care or help somebody else and setting that boundary. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna give you an issue. Let's say that you just got done working a 16-hour shift. You're tired. There's only 24 hours in a day. You have 8 hours left. I said 10, but you get it. I was expressing. You have 8 hours left until the next 16-hour day. And then your friend calls you and says, oh my God, like I need help moving. This is the last weekend for me moving, and I have other people helping me tomorrow, but I just need a lot of help today. And you're in a place where like, man, I love my friend. I really want to help them out, but I'm so exhausted and I have another 16-hour shift tomorrow. And this is the theory that you should use. Look at it as a scale, or as, let's look at it as two containers. We'll look at it as two cups, because usually that's what people use, right? Let me fill up your cup, let me fill up your cup. Look, what did Wayne say? He said, I had a lot going on when I had that cup. I might as well pick that cup back up. Anyways. So if you have two cups, your cup is pretty much empty. You have a sip left in this cup. You said you're tired. You have another 16-hour shift tomorrow. Their cup is probably half full. Now, if the whole goal is for them to have their house completed before a certain time, that's them getting their cup filled. Their objective is to get everything out of their house. And then once that happens, their cup is full. They can move on to the next activity or whatever they're doing in their life. Your cup's probably going to be full when you get your paycheck, probably in about 9 to 10 days. You still have like another week of working. You need to reserve your sip in your cup, because imagine you going over to your friend's house who literally just said that they have other people helping them, and you go pour a little, and I feel like I need to get real glasses for you, like cups, so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but I won't, because I know you're smarter than that. Yeah, so they have a half cup, you have a little sip left, and you're like, and this is what you guys do. Okay, well, I think I can help. And you pour the rest of your sip in that cup. And now you're running on a dry throat and saliva all week because you decided to give them your last sip, instead of knowing that your sip isn't even going to help them get to the top, because their whole objective is to get everything out of their house. And you're not helping the process either. You're helping it about your sip much. You added a sip into the mix. You think they're going to think about that when they're digesting this whole full cup of them moving in? And no offense, congratulations to them moving in, but we're talking about you and the work that you have to do and the people that you have to take care of. This is your life, so we're going to take care of it. So the next time that happens, dig a little bit deeper as to why people need this help. And so if you're tired and you know that you only have a little bit of sip left, here are some questions that you can ask. Well, what is the date that you need to move out? Do you think that I could come over after work on a day that I have more energy? Or how many people are coming over tomorrow? At this point, they're asking you because they need help, but it doesn't mean that you are the resource. Like, you are not this person's keeper. I know you want to be a good friend, and I know you want to be there when they need help, but guess what? They called you, so of course you're their friend. Of course you're going to be the person that shows up when they need help. You just can't help them when your cup is empty. So look, okay, let's talk about, so that's the healthy boundary. You guys can use that analogy. What energy outweighs more? Are you going to be extra tired of giving up all your energy? And then it doesn't really matter when they can help you, because you're probably not somebody that asks for help anyways. So yeah, the energy transfer is not going to make sense. So just say no, and then ask a little bit more questions. And then something that you could say is, you can tell them, let me get back to you. And then sometimes that getting back, they might find somebody else in the meantime, and your friend might get back to you. Or you can say, I don't think I'm going to be able to today. You can literally say, I don't think I'm going to be able to today. If I have some extra time in the future, I can let you know. That's the end of the conversation. And then you'll see what type of friends that you have. It's when you act. Okay. Too much coffee, because I'm like, my brain. Whew. So engaging in activities that bring you joy and pleasure. You guys might have to go and hang out with, again, creative people. I said in my last video, you guys are going to have to hang around creative people for you to know what you're doing and for you to have fun. And you guys need to also understand that if there's like an anxiety attachment, you need to understand that, like, if you have an anxiety attachment style, because most likely you'll go out with friends and you like what they're doing, but you like the time with your friends more than the activity or hobby that you're doing. And so now every time that you don't have that activity, and this is where I find men have like this relationship where they enjoy doing things with their friends and they don't really care what it is. And so they'll say, oh, I really like And no offense to men, I'm just saying some people are like that too, but I just see it more in the men community. Men will be like, oh, I really love golfing. And then you're like, oh, okay, what do you love about golfing? And they're like, they start talking about their friends. Okay. It sounded like that you guys you like hanging out with your friends. You like when you guys can drink together. You guys like when you can joke and have fun. That is wonderful. But I just think for everybody else, it doesn't really work out that way. You enjoy your friends more than the actual activity. So what we need to do is find hobbies and activities that you can do alone that you enjoy by yourself. And then we can talk about incorporating other people, because again, you might have that anxiety attachment style. I love you. I love you. I love you guys. So yeah, you guys already know what it is. Painting, drawing, drawing people naked, going to orchestras, going to theaters. Do things by yourself and figure out which one of these things make you feel the best. I don't want to talk too much on it because we're already like on 11 minutes and I'm not even done for like the first. Anyways, so we're talking about practice self-compassion. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm really hard on you guys in this video. I'm hard on myself though. I want to let you guys know that I am hard on myself. I judge myself. I judge how I can show up for other people, but I'm also very selfish with like the things that like, so I feel like as I enjoy my life and people want to come into my life, I'm such a people pleaser, but I make sure that it works for me too. So an example of that is like, if somebody says, oh, do you want to go to dinner? And depending on what I'm doing that night, if I'm not doing anything, yeah, I'd love to go to the dinner, you know? And if they choose a restaurant that I don't like, I'm not going to dinner anymore, because I would rather enjoy something that I'm eating by myself than go to a restaurant and enjoy food that I don't like with somebody that I enjoy. And that sounds really selfish, but I think that my stomach is going to be the one to tell me if if things are enjoyable at the end of the night. Okay. So you guys need to learn how to pick and choose. And another example of that is, let's say I don't have gas in my car and I really want to go to an event. Depending on what the event is, I'll pay somebody for gas or ask somebody to drop me off. But if it's not that enjoyable of an event, no one's going to hear from me. Like if I really want to go to this event because let's say Tyler, the creator, is going to be there and I want to meet him, but then I don't have gas, I'm not going to spend money on a ticket. And this could be girl math too, whatever it is, but it's just like, what's going to make sense for me more in the future? Because if I get paid on a certain date and I spend an extra however much money, then I'm not able to splurge how I want to. So it's like, you guys have to really figure out what the balance is or how things are going to come back into alignment of actually what you want at the end of the day and what's going to give you like the most guarantee and the most satisfaction at the end of the day. I hope we're still on the same topic. Yeah, we're talking about practicing self-compassion. And so a way to do that is just giving back to yourself more. Like you do not, I hate to say it, and I said this in earlier videos, but we're obviously going to have unexpected things happen all the time. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't save money for a rainy day, but if you're only saving it for a rainy day, most likely you're not going to have a lot of good times unless it's on other people's dime. And then, you know, you're penny pinching here and there. How about save for like vacation money? And then if anything happens, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Save for a better cause. So when these events happen, you won't feel like, oh yeah, well, good thing I have money for that. And I struggled with everything else in my life. Like, no, save the money for something that you really want, because what happens if this incident takes you out? You don't want to be working your whole life. You don't want your memories to be only working, okay? So make some time to give back for yourself. Also, ways of showing self-compassion is just be easy with yourself. Sometimes I mess up and I'm wrong, or sometimes I mess up and I have to try something over, or like today, I feel like I had a meeting. I feel like I didn't talk enough. I really didn't show them an example of like my true personality and what I bring to the table, but I know I'm a hard worker. And when I bring the work back and I make sure that I do cross my T's and can't say Can't say she, but I'm just saying, give more credit to yourself. Okay. You wake up every day, you go to work, you take care of your kids, you take care of your mom, you take care of your dad, your aunt, your grandpa, your husband, your wife. You guys do so much for other people that please make a gratitude list. I think that the best way that you can give back to yourself and show yourself of how much you're grateful of and all the things that you have acquired into your life this whole time is to make a gratitude list. Make it really simple. If you don't know where to start, I'll give you guys some examples. Like, I'm grateful for, the connections that have brought in like new beginnings in my life. I'm appreciative for the opportunities. I'm appreciative that I got, 3 job interviews. I'm appreciative that they even looked over my interview. I'm appreciative that someone makes my food every day, that someone's like actually in the factory making sure that this stuff comes out on time. And so looking at the small aspects of your life, from you waking up to the people who you interact with, to the people who help you out as well, you're going to see a difference in how much you actually do, and the small things matter. The small things add up. You eating good food and eating good 5 times a week, that adds up at the end of the day, because now at the end of the year, you can be like, man, I did this for a whole year. I'm ready to up that ante. I'm ready to feel better. I'm ready to add something on. I can add more into my routine. I can add more when it comes on to the workload. It's like you have room to add more because you're so sustainable. You're someone that has been very sustainable. So give yourself credit for that. I was like, I wish I could add a applause, but I don't edit my videos. You guys know already. I tried to for like a little bit. It took a lot of work. I'll pay someone to do it if I'm going to do it. I like the raw footage and material until things need to change and I want to look a certain way, but near here, there, that's what Instagram is for. So self-compassion is also, if you're not in the mood to do something, you don't have to people please to do things. Self-compassion is also, if you feel like you want to treat yourself, I'm not saying do it every day, but treat yourself. Literally, compassion is something that it's like a relief. It relieves. Compassion relieves. It's just like something that just like gives and oozes and like also nurtures as well. Like if compassion I felt was like a substance or like what is it, mineral, I think it would be something that is like coats. I don't even know. I don't want to get into it, you guys. I just have a very imaginative brain. But I think giving back to yourself, doing the things, saying yes more. I think a lot of people say no because they're just like, oh, I didn't like that last time. And you're not going to experience. Why do you think that they make 12 to 22 different type of breads in the bread aisle? It's bread. That's the subject. What type of bread? That's the subcategory. Your life is the same. Okay, so giving back to yourself, of course you give back to yourself, and which way is going to feel good for you? Even better. That's the subcategory. In which ways you're going to give back to yourself. You do get to enjoy a meaningful life if you put work into it. You just don't get, even for rich people, they have to work for it, and their kids usually like no business faster. So it's not that these kids are just lazy. It's the fact that they're not stimulated at the same like everyday lifestyle that we have. Like they're, what stimulates them and what stimulates us is different. Like think about that. So it's not that these kids are lazy. They just have a lot more structure in their life, so they are just stimulated off of different things. We're stimulated, most likely our community is stimulated off of TV, social media, the news, what other people's doing, gossip. I feel like in richer families, they're invested in relationships, networking, people, maintaining an image, because that image is something that they acquired that they have to have maintenance on. And so it is a lifestyle and it is an image, but like we also have the image over here in our community, in our category as well, as saying, okay, well, like I have enough to do this, or some people have food stamps and some people, you know what I'm saying? So there's different levels of where we're at and things that we find important, things that matter. There's just different categories of how people invest their time. So the last one is going to be prioritizing self-care routines. I've been saying that this is important. Wake up, brush your teeth, wash your ass, do your makeup, do whatever you need to feel good at the beginning of the day, because that's what's going to determine what type of day that you have. I feel like the more you know, because life is so unpredictable, there needs to be some predictability and predictability. There needs to be some predictability in your life. Oh my gosh, I cracked myself. So that's what the routines are for, to really get into like the nitty gritty of things. Therefore, so you can get your life together. So you know that there's something predictable happening. Your body's going to tell you when to eat. So you're not having a conversation an hour over the time that you say that you were going to eat, because your body's going to be like, oh, nope, I need to eat right now. This is, so you already are on schedule. So you have, it's like when you create a routine, it builds structure, so you know how much time in between the things that you need. So it's like, wake up, need space, 12, need to eat, space, dinner, need to eat, space. And so those spaces that I said, that's how much time you have until the next thing that you need to do for you. So when you can fit in more self-care routines and more ways that you can give back to yourself, it's only gonna make the time that's like the E, and then it's like time for me. You're going to be able to fit in now regular life situations, whether that's having certain conversations or you want to eat at a certain place. And now you get to have the conversation about like the dreams of your life and also eat at your favorite place at the same time. But you're not going to know these things unless you have a routine in your life. Damn, I hope that made sense. But yeah, there needs to be a routine, because there needs to be structure, so you can figure out how long things take, so you can figure out how much you can intake in a day. So when you go to sleep, you're not like, oh my God, I could have did more. No, you couldn't have, because if you would have, you would have. And then also just not being able to be distracted easily. We're very easily distracted. I can also say so myself, but that goes in with eating habits and giving back to yourself. So yeah, we're going to get into dietary recommendations for the sacral. You guys, I'm telling you, the coffee's crazy. Ooh, I shouldn't be drinking coffee, but hey, it's me and God. We had a conversation. Okay. Let's see. So dietary recommendations for sacral chakra healing. Certain foods can support this chakra's energy, incorporating nourishing and vibrant fruits. Foods like orange fruits, seeds, nuts, and healthy fats into the diet can help promote the balance and well-being of the sacral chakra. So, of course, you want to eat what the chakras are. So orange, carrots, yams, like it said, oranges, peppers, orange peppers. You guys want to, and turmeric is going to be good. Make sure if you're going to have turmeric, add some black pepper in there. You guys don't want to incorporate these foods because they're good filler foods as well. Like it was saying, what did it say? Orange fruit, seeds, and healthy fat foods. So again, that's like those squashes and yams. These are good filler foods because you guys can use these. They're like comfort foods. They make you feel good. They're usually the thing that's on the plate that you're like, ooh, maybe this is carbs. That's really good. And it's just like a really good way to let your body know that you're filling in the spaces when you don't eat all day. You're going to need a little bit of like yams. Let's talk about Thanksgiving real quick. You're gonna need a little bit of yams, but then green, got your greens, and then maybe you have like some potato salad and all this extra stuff. But I do think that these orange fruits and vegetables have a very distinctive taste as well. They can either add to the meal. It's like it usually adds flavor, but not too much flavor. It's not usually like overpowering in flavor like red fruits or even green fruits. And that's our root chakra that's really active, and also our heart chakra that's really active. So let's keep that in mind. And so I think, yeah, we just named a couple of those. I don't think we have to talk about the dietary recommendations. I do think that staying away from refined sugars is good. Staying away from gluten is good. Staying away from milk and dairy, get it out of there. If you guys want milk, coconut milk, almond milk, yogurts, almond yogurt, coconut milk yogurt. Try different things. I don't necessarily think you need dairy, and I think that's how I got these, because I was eating dairy. I had some macaroni and cheese, and I thought that it was gonna not fuck me up, but it did. And I was like, and it was horrible. So I probably won't do that again, and it broke my face out. So I think you guys just need to give it a break on the dairy. Eat some oat milk. It's a little bit sweeter, yes, but like, why do you need it? What in your body is saying like, oh my God, I need it? And you know what it is? You need a detox. You need a parasite cleanse. You need to, you know what I'm saying, get into a steam room, get some of those toxins and minerals out, get shit moving so you can actually see what your body needs. And really funny story about that. Not a story, but depending on when you were born, it's like the next 3 months will tell you the mineral deficiencies you'll have. And so you guys have to look it up. Like every astrology sign or every sign has like certain minerals that they've had while their mother, like while they were while they were evolving in their mother's stomach, there were certain minerals that were being like produced. And so the minerals that you need are the ones when you aren't in your mother's stomach. Oh, that was hard to explain, but you guys get it. You can look it up based off of that information. Go ahead and put it in Google. I don't know what it's called. So again, if that interests you, do your thing. But yeah, get rid of all like all the white fruits and vegetables. Besides like soursop, I don't mean like that. I mean like rice. Get rid of it. Potatoes, get rid of it. Pasta, get rid of it. The pasta is not really like vegetable based and has a lot of starch, sugar, flour, bleached flour. No, gotta go. It has to. Eat some salads, different type of salads, tortillas. They gotta go. I have to stop eating chips, but don't talk to me right now. I'm trying my best. Okay, let's explore the role that the sacral chakra has with pleasure and sensuality. Why is this doing this? Okay, so establishing, did I already pass it? Okay, the sacral chakra is associated with pleasure and sensuality. Exploring and embracing healthy expressions of pleasure, sensuality, and intimacy can contribute to the balance and vitality of the sacral chakra. I will say, because I don't want to get too deep on this subject, that if you guys are working with the sacral chakra and trying to get more in tune and sensual and healing, playing a certain type of music while you're in the mood is really good. Also, putting a mirror into the bedroom is really good. Also, doing foreplay is really good. Like if you guys can kind of like get each other off without having to actually like have the intercourse, that's really good as well. Another thing is bringing like these type of fruits and vegetables into the bed. I don't know why I stopped. I'm sorry. Into the bedroom. I think that that's going to be really great as well. And what this does is you guys, again, you have to be creative. You have to think like, ooh, this touch here, that feels nice. And you and you have to really think like it's an out of body experience. I don't know if you guys been with someone that you've done something and it was new, but it was just like, it's like this exhilarating experience. And I think the more that you kind of just play around with like things in the bedroom and playing with like different shapes, and maybe one of you is blindfolded, it takes you to a place where things aren't so predictable. Like it's just not like straight missionary, straight blah blah. And then also you guys could be intimate by like softly touching on each other and whisperings and like, you know, keeping like the lights off. Maybe you can get a little kinky and like tying them up and like blindfold them. Anyways, but you get it. You have to be creative. You have to be sensual. It's also a part of intimacy that you need to bring in. And both of you guys really have to trust each other. What it is trusting yourself, trusting each other that the other person's going to enjoy it, or they're going to be able to navigate and tell you what's going on. So it takes courage. It takes intimacy. It takes understanding. It takes connection. It takes nourishing each other. And it just brings yourself into a place where you can trust yourself at a level where you know that you can make someone feel good, or you know you can make yourself feel good. I'm all smiling when I'm saying this, but I just think it's a really good time to just let loose. Like who cares about what's happening? That's why I say if you need the lights off, keep the lights off. But I think that you're going to understand that the balance comes from you experiencing something and experiencing your boundaries. Like when you're in the bedroom and when you're sensual and you're trying to figure yourself out, it's like if another person's doing something to you, you have to be like, okay, stop. And then there needs to be a space for you to actually say stop, and the person's not just, they're going to respect that boundary. And so it's another way of exercising those boundaries at an intimate level. So when you actually come into a place that you are understanding this is a work connection relationship, you're confident in the areas where you feel creative. So you're going to just be more confident in having certain conversations with people and being a little bit more open to that, because the time that you were open and vulnerable, some good things happened to you. So it's kind of like a pattern on what you experience, like on this roller coaster, but you really like that ride, and that's really brought you back. So that's a little bit about like the intimacy. You also can do things like writing. If you guys aren't on that level yet, you guys can like write little notes to each other. What else can you do? I was like, is there anything else? Did I bring everything else up? I mean, I brought kind of like everything. You guys can also like look online. Some people are really into like podcasts and like reading books, so they can really use their imagination. I also would suggest not masturbating, because that doesn't really help with like creative production. I hope I'm using the right words. It has to be the right words, because one, it makes sense to me, and then two, it's like use them together. Creative production, like the productivity of creation. You get it. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about cultivating healthy boundaries in relationships. They're essential for our well-being, and this involves learning to communicate effectively, honoring personal needs and desires, and fostering relationships that lift and respect individual boundaries. Ooh, I be arguing with people sometimes. I know this isn't a confessional, but I definitely think this goes to show that if you are someone that's trying to establish and create healthy boundaries, and also effectively communicate with people where you're problem solving and creating healthy boundaries, if you are communicating with someone who is immature, or someone who is doing things to you on purpose, like gaslighting you or chastising you or patronizing you, all these things and above, you're not going to be able to practice what you're preaching all the time. And I'm just being honest. I'm someone that tries to practice what I preach. Some people can really get under my skin, and that's because I'm not doing the things. I'm spending too much time on what they think, and I need to be spending time on what my hobbies are, how to be, a better person, what I want my future to look like, how I'm going to get there. And it's going to take hard work, but God's going to bring in the right people and complete it. And it's going to be very gradual. But yeah, if you're someone that is around people and they argue with you for no reason, or they try to say like, okay, well, you're being immature, but you definitely know that they're being immature, and they haven't brought up like any points that are helping you solve the problem, helping you as a person. They're just putting you down. And there's a difference between you feeling like the victim, because a lot of people can say, oh, well, the other person puts me down and they patronize me and they always bring up issues. But unless you are someone that is sitting there and analyzing instead of judging and waiting to speak after the person's done talking, if they brought an issue to you and you're not able to help them problem solve, and they're coming to you in a respectful way, and you just think that they're bringing issues to you, you're not emotionally intelligent enough. You're just, you need to work on it. And I'm just saying that because in anybody's case, it's not about what both of you guys think. It's about how can you fix this? Like, how can you guys both bring yourself out of this perspective and fix this? And ladies, this is for you too. You can't necessarily bring problems to people and not analyze it at a higher perspective. So if you're coming to him and saying, you know what, I need you to love me more, and this is not what you're saying. You're just like, oh, well, you stopped taking me on dates, and you stopped doing all this, and you did all this. The perspective of that is negative. And so you can definitely turn it around and say, hey, before maybe, I don't know, like, I really miss us going on dates. I really felt more connected to you, and I felt like I could just be more at ease and just like just be in your presence more and have more fun with you when we go out. That's a different perspective than saying, oh, well, we never go out and we never do this. It does sound like nagging, but again, you guys will see where you're at in situations when that happens, because when I hear that, I'm hearing someone that's screaming for attention, and I'm able to turn it around and say, hey, you know, like, it sounds like you just want to spend time with me. Is that something that, like, is that what you're trying to say? And a lot of you guys will look at it as like, oh, well, they're nagging and they're doing this and they're making me feel like this. If you don't want to solve the problem, you might want to, again, look at therapy or analyze, like, why is this person nagging in the first place? Are you able to help them problem solve? Maybe they just want to be heard. And you'll kind of see where you're at emotionally when it comes to dealing with other people's problems, because you'll be able to problem solve for them a little bit faster versus thinking that you're always the issue. So instead of turning yourself into the victim, this is how you can judge whether you're having and setting healthy boundaries with people. Because if someone keeps complaining to you, you keep thinking you're the problem, and you think that they're the problem for complaining, you got to look at yourself again. Because if they're complaining about you, there has to be something that you're doing or not doing. So I can't really give you guys a lesson on emotional intelligence right now. I'm just letting you know that you want to create those healthy boundaries. You want to be able to involve, like, you want to be able to involve effective communication. And what that is if you need something and putting yourself, and I'm going to give you an example, or just use a theory that you could use of how to analyze where someone's at mentally, because it takes a lot of people a lot of effort to, you know, say how they feel. So make sure that you're not victimizing yourself by saying like, oh my God, they always have an issue, or oh my God, it's always me and what's wrong with me. Is listen to what the people are saying versus listening to the tone of what they're saying it. So if someone is saying, you know what, we never spend time together, and every time that you do this, you're always doing this. And let me be more specific. So we never spend time together. Every time you're at work, you never call me or you never text me, and I just really feel left out. The tone is really like, oh my God, you're nagging. But what they're actually saying is true. They feel left out because you stopped calling them and you stopped texting them, and you expect them to be the same towards you, but you gave them a whole bunch of love and effort before, and you're more focused on, well, it's her tone is like she's nagging, she just needs to come with me with emotionless. That's the issue right there. They're gonna keep nagging you if you don't feel empathetic. And I understand that men don't necessarily need the empathy all the time, but that's why you guys make such, I will say, self-centered choices. I feel like a lot of men make self-centered choices when it comes around emotions, because they don't feel a certain way, there's no way that everyone else could feel that way. And then women can be too emotional by not saying, you know what, this is somebody that's not emotionally available. I need to move forward in a different relationship, or I need to get into therapy, or I need to avert my attention back to myself, because we get lost a lot of the time as women trying to be in a relationship, trying to make someone else happy. And most of the time they're happy because they got you. You know what I'm saying? It's not really what you do for them. They don't. Okay, I'm not going to get into it because I'm not a relationship coach, but hey, if you caught it, you caught it. So yeah, set some healthy boundaries. Let's see. I think that we should also talk about, I think we should talk about if people don't respect your boundaries. You got to leave them alone. You told them one time, you told them two times, you told them three times, okay? They heard you. It's time for you to leave them alone. It's time for you to start choosing yourself and start understanding that you care about yourself enough to not even pay this person attention. Who cares if they're paying you attention at this point? Because what they're doing and what they're showing you is they would rather keep doing what they're doing than to respect any type of boundary of healthy communication or healthy boundary or whatever. They're just showing you that they are not ready to grow in that area. So you have to completely ignore them. And I know it sucks, and I know you don't want to. It could be your mom, could be your boss, could be whoever, but yeah, it's very important. I feel like for you to be a well-rounded person, you need to be able to have some type of emotional intelligence. And if you're not able to be empathetic for people who are genuinely like struggling or going through it or being passionate or vulnerable, whatever the situation is, if you're not able to be empathetic for them and you're not ready to be empathetic, please leave those people alone. Leave the people alone who feel deep. Leave the people alone who always sound like they're complaining, because they're coming from a place where other people aren't making them feel heard. So don't you dare put them into a place where you ignore them, because now you're added onto the list as somebody who's not going to be emotionally available. And I'm not saying that, oh, well, that's their trauma and that's something that they have to deal with. Yes, it is. But if you were smart enough and you were to be better as a person and acknowledge that other people have lives too and be more empathetic towards other people, then we would have less people like this. So you don't get to come in and say, you know what, you're going through something and you're being super emotional right now when you don't even have the gift of feeling any emotion at all. So I just want to put that out there, because when you're creating boundaries with people, you're someone that already feels. So it's okay for you to be like, you know what, you don't get access to me because you're not someone that gives me access to you. And I think that friendships and relationships, it should be reciprocal. And I said it, and what? And did. Okay, we're going to talk about... Ooh, I don't know. Did I feel like I skipped something? Let's talk about relationships. I think that's what we're talking about right now. Honoring personal needs and desires, fostering relationships that uplift and respect individuals. Yeah, boundaries. Your needs and desires are different. I want to talk about that too. What you need in life is going back to, we need food, we need water, we need a place to stay, we need to wash our ass every day. Our wants are, I want a Jaguar and I don't need that. I just need transportation to work. That's something, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like when we go above and beyond our needs in life, they turn into wants. And so instead of you saying, okay, I'm cool with the studio and I could just live by myself and this is what I can afford, you're like, I want the mansion and I want 6 houses and I want 6 cars. If you don't have a plan for that in your life, there's no way that you're going to be able to maintain it. Okay, so I would make a list starting off for the things that you like and the things that you don't like, and then go make a list of the things that you need and the things that you want. The things that you want are not going to be in the same category as your needs. So you're not ever going to need, I hate to say it, you're never going to need an animal. Sorry, that's a want. People having animals, when I grew up, Black people didn't have animals in their house. So I know that this is your emotional support animal, but I feel like a lot of people that have animals are like also attached to their animals. And I just think it could be unhealthy. I'm not saying it is unhealthy. I said that it can be unhealthy. And usually those people like to stay in the house. They also usually use them as a support. What is it? A support animal, a support behavior, whatever. They use them as an emotional support animal. You need to go to therapy. What medication are you on? There's tea out in the world and natural herbs. I'm not saying that everybody's the same. I'm just saying when we get down to this animal thing, that is a want. That is not a need. We did not start with having animals in the house. I don't know why we need animals in the house if it's an extra bill. I love you guys. But differentiate what the needs are and what the wants are. And you guys know what it is. So if you have questions, leave it down. But don't ask me rhetorical questions, because once you say it out loud, you're going to know the answer. Yes. So our last topic, creating a personalized sacral chakra healing plan for growth and maintenance. Each individual's healing journey is unique. Creating a personalized sacral chakra and healing plan involves integrating practices, techniques, self-care strategies that resonate with the individual's needs and preferences. This plan serves as a guide for continued growth, maintenance, and ongoing nurturing for the sacral chakra. So I think what would be really good, I have a template that's on my PayHip and my link tree, and it is a 30-day challenge of like self-care and self-love. It's a really hard challenge. It has writing prompts in there. It has different like activities that you can do. It has just different hobbies that you can try out. And I just think it's a really good template so you could do something different every day and it doesn't feel like the same thing, but you're also giving back to yourself. Sometimes it's like decluttering your closet, decluttering your workspace, go clean your car. And it's simple things like that that are going to create energy to flow and for more opportunities to enter your life because there's space rather than junk filling it up. Also, I do have a couple of different courses on there that help with finding your niche, help with mental health, getting started in spirituality if that's something good for you, and yeah, just some other templates of like working out. So I think you guys should go check them out on my PayHip. And yeah, you guys did wonderful. This was the last segment. I'm so proud of you. After this course, you guys will gain comprehensive understanding of the sacral chakra, the imbalances, various techniques to help and balance it. If you guys incorporate these into your daily lives, you can cultivate a harmonious and a vibrant sacral chakra, leading to enhanced creativity, emotional well-being, and healthy relationships. I do think that this is going to be the chakra that's going to open up more opportunities in your life when it comes to you being an entrepreneur, you being a mother, you being a son, you whatever your position is in life, whether you are just who you are, your first name and last name. It's going to open up different perspectives because you're going to have to push yourself to try new things. And these things are kind of testy and they kind of make you feel uncomfortable because one, you don't even know what you're trying, and then you're not with an expert. You have to become the expert. So it's the new path and the new way of learning and loving yourself. And I really do think that these courses are going to help you guys find a better interconnectedness and understanding of yourself and others. I really appreciate you guys for stopping by and watching this video. If you have any comments or any extra ideas, let me know. Next week, we're going to be doing the solar plexus. It's the meridian of the sacral chakras. It's the yellow chakra. So we're going to be eating some pineapples, lemons, things that really have some zest because it's like the sun of our... It's the sun of our chakras. It's like the sun in the ecosystem, you know, of our chakras. And yeah, I think that you guys pretty much know what to do. You need to focus on mindfulness. You need to keep your house clean, keep your body clean, be mindful, be aware of the choices that you're making. Start making gratitude lists. Start being more, adore yourself more. I want to go back into like that compassion and self-compassion. Adore yourself more. Take extra time to put the eyelashes on or the eyebrows, or learn how to do, you know, something that's going to enhance your outside presence, because that's going to enhance like, oh my God, well, they always call me beautiful because I'm always like eating these grapes. Okay, well, you're the grape eating healthy girl, and you're also helping your body every time you choose something good for yourself. So I hope these videos find you well. If you like these videos, again, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my social media, Project Trilogy Inc., where I'll be having more videos and just extra tips for you guys on a daily. And this is Panacea Sundays, ending of the sacral chakra. All right, you guys, I'll see you later, and good job. Bye.